Good morning, everybody. My dear students, this is the third class of Corporate Governance and Business Ethics of Unit 1, and today's topic is Good Corporate Governance. My dear students, already you know the corporate governance means good business and honesty way of doing business. Means with transparency, with accountability and responsibility is required for doing a particular business. And all stakeholders should satisfy or all stakeholders should require some questions as regards to payment of dividend, and also community also ask about their development in peripheral areas. This is covered under the good corporate governance. But nowadays, in different scams and different type of frauds and different type of embellishment and different type of unethical practices or wrong way of doing business are to be increasing day by day in India also. In India, if you think about Indian corporate sector, there are certain corporate houses doing a good type of business, and certain business houses has some type of wrong think of approach of doing their business. If you take any of the corporate houses, there is some of the problems are arises. Later on, I have to discuss one by one, and even if in a good corporate governance, there is a three P's are required, as I already stated in previous classes. Three P's means that is process, that is procedure, and the procedure and the process is required for a good corporate governance practices. And two S, that is one is system, another one is the one is system, and another one is the that is called as a standards. These are the two things, and three P's and two S is required. But even if these requirement can be fulfilled through the good corporate governance practices, my dear students, in previous classes we have already discussed about the meaning. Another one is some concepts and like the objective, and there is some of the role and the significance and importance. Another one is characteristics of corporate governance. But here in today's class is good corporate governance. Even if we talk about good corporate governance, means how you have to find out what is the right way of approach of doing the business. Mean there is no answer of right doing of approach. There is certain policies and practice is required, and some way through which you have to gone through your business in a right way, and then every stakeholder should happy with this reason, and we go for this topic in detail one by one. My dear students, if you talk about corporate governance, it means it is a structure of rules, practices, and policies, what I have already stated, and to direct manage a company. Management means management of a company. Means there is a one, not only one, there is a certain persons are involved. This is called as a board of directors. In my second point, that is board of directors are important and to take part in the every corporate governance. In previous classes I have already stated there is three P's and two S is required. Here three C's are also required for the perspective of the board of directors. Means three C's means constructive, another one is collaborative and collegiate, and committed. Committed means commitment of requirement is required for a doing a business in a proper manner. Means the board of directors has the supreme power, and the board of directors has a important role, and he is the top level of management. He should have one constructive idea, and with a new type of collaborative approach, and with a with a new type of doing business, how the company will be performed well or better manner in near future. So that is the called as a constructive mind and commitment to do the work, and a collaborative approach with a collegiate thinking of rational mind is required for the board of directors. And if you talk about bad governance, these are the positive word. If you talk about bad governance means there is a unethical issues, unethical practices, or wrongdoing. It means there is reliability, integrity, transparency. There is no integrity, no reliability, and no transparency in the particular type of business, and that always impact upon the financial health of the particular business or particular company or particular enterprise. My dear students, in previous classes we have already discussed regarding the four pillars, means fairness, transparency, and responsibility. These are the different pillars of corporate governance are there. And in the, if you think about bad governance, there is a doubt of reliability, there is a doubt of integrity, there is a doubt of obligation, there is a doubt of any type of wrong way of or inefficient management of company. Then only the company cannot exist. My dear students, companies always in the wrong approach of doing your business or bad governance practices, one practices is they are not sufficiently cooperative with the auditors. Means auditor is a important person who can audit the books of accounts, and auditor is a watchdog but not a bloodhound. Means he has to look out the financial documents, and always they can keep a keep a side of the all financial document, and does not disclose to what type of resolutions, what type of financial transactions, what type of any wrongdoing, means misappropriation of fund is arises in during the period, it does not disclose to the auditors. So that it is wrong, bad governance means, or wrongdoing of governance means, it is not cooperate with the sufficiently with the auditors. Another one is, if you talk about bad governance, another one is bad executive compensation packages, means high incentive to the board of directors. Means you do not disclose to the annual general body meeting of the company, and you have put a one resolution and high compensation package to the any of the director. Means either it may be independent director or maybe dependent director, whatever it may be. And now poor structured boards means those who are inefficient, and those who are do not know about the company, and those who are even if they are not experiencing of how to manage the company, if we include these as a called as a board of director, the company cannot exist. For example, you see in cooperative banks, what condition arises in India. There is a lots of scams are arises as regards to the cooperative banks. Means there is a lots of means put fold or enter into a in a wrong way of doing by the to be different top level management. Means there is a political interference, due to the political interference, the cooperative banks are not performed well. So thus for this reason, now the RBI has take a initiative that all cooperative banks should be come under the purview of Reserve Bank of India, and then it can be managed properly. So these are the all about of the bad governance. If you talk about good governance, means good practice, good way of doing business, fairness, transparency, integrity, and with a satisfying the stakeholders approach. These are the good governance practices. My dear students, today's class is what are the components of good corporate governance. Good corporate governance. One is clear legislation. Clear legislation means rules. What type of rules? According to the, we should abide by the all companies corporate affairs, minister of corporate affairs and SEBI's rules. And if it is a banking business, that is a Reserve Bank of India rules. And these legislation should be clear, means memorandum of association, articles of association, resolution, proxies, meetings. These are all sorts of related to the governance rules should be clear enough, and then we can start off a particular type of business. And it can be managed according to the rules and regulation, means we can adopt the MRTP Act, we can pay the GST payments at the end of the month, and we can pay the dividend to the shareholders in proper time. These are the clear legislations. Legislation means there is a rules, regulation and principles. Second one is the code of conduct. If you talk about code of conduct, it means there is some of the guidelines which is required for doing a particular type of business. What type of guidelines? What is the duties of a board of directors? What is the duty of a auditor? And what is the what type of rule of what type of duties and responsibility of a company secretary, and how the issue can be managed? There is just the different types of code of conducts are there. It can be means if it is governed properly, then it is called as a good governance. And second one and third one is the role and responsibility and power of the board. And as already I have stated, the board is a supreme power, means board of directors is the supreme power. In the public limited company, 7 members, three directors are there. It means in a public limited company there is a role and responsibility should be defined. These can be performed in a certain manner. And that role and responsibility, as well as it is equivalent with the code of conduct of a business. Next one is a skill of board. Skill means there is a those who are efficient one, and those who are an experience regarding the management of a particular company, the skill is required. Means corporate governance, good corporate governance means there is a smoothness of a management of a company. If those persons who have no experience regarding the management of a particular company, why we counted as a board of directors? So then only it can be negative impact upon the financial performance of the company. So skill is required. Another one is management of environment. Now environment is changing. There are different environments are coming, like as a overall world scenario is changing. Another one is the business area will be changing. The product choice of a particular customers are changing. In this way, how we have to equip with the particular type of environment. The board of directors should know, or the management of the company should equip with this environment, and there should be familiar with the environment. Then only it may be called as a good corporate governance. Next one is the appointment of a board and its training. Board appointment of board means at the time of appointment of the board of director, training is required. Without a training, no board can perform well. So nowadays, there is one session we should be there, and they can equip with the how the company will be performed well. In this way, the good corporate governance practices can be adopted. My dear students, if you think that Tata is the best company, there is a certain problem arises in last year. You see, last year you see there is a Cyrus Mistry and Ratan Tata. There is a fighting in between regarding the board decisions issues. There is, it means there is certainly some points are there through which these problems are arises. Yeah, means training is required, means there is a honesty is required, and there is a ethical views and ethical issues can be carried out. These are called as a board of director and it's a training. Next one is the strategy setting. Strategy setting means how it will be strategy can be can be created. Strategy means a new type of business or new type of venture or new type of company's adoption or new type of rules or regulation with regards to the in the annual business plans are covered under the strategy setting. Business plans means how a new type of product will be introduced in the market and what type of technology transfer we can adopt from or collaboration with the foreign companies. These are called as a new strategy settings. Means strategy settings not only the covered with the business plans but also all together it will measure the target and milestone of the business. That is called as a strategy setting. Next one is the business and community obligations. Community obligations means development of the peripherals of the community or peripherals of the area of a particular company. It means there is a one. If you already, I have already stated, this is a one stakeholder who can participate in the particular community development or community aspect. It should be developed. That is called as a good corporate governance. It means there may be a roads, maybe a dams, maybe a polio eradications or some awareness programs. And nowadays in pandemic period, some sort of COVID hospitals and some type of business related to social development. These are related to community obligations. Community obligations also a important aspect of a particular type of business. Another one is the evaluation of board performance. How it is evaluated? At the end of the year, the board can be evaluated. Meaning individual directors or individual periodical intervals and the key performance can be evaluated. How it is evaluated? I mean certain category or certain formula we can adopt and then only the it can be evaluated properly. Good governance means among those board of director who is the best one and who is the best of performed in a doing the particular business. If you take the example of HDFC Bank, you see last 25 years one person is involved with the who can take up the HDFC Bank at a at a greater level. Means that is the Aditya Puri. It means is Aditya Puri is one person who can uplift the HDFC Bank. But if you talk about the L&T company, Larsen and Toubro company, the Mr. Naik, how he has performed in well L&T, not only the it is belongs to the cement, but also it belongs to the in certain IT sector development and certain other ways L&T can be a performed a better company. Means evaluation of board performance means those who are the persons involved in the composition of the particular board. That's called as a good component of a good corporate governance. And next one is the 10th point is the financial and operating operational reporting. Financial means financial statements and operational reporting means we can adopt the international operating standards. It means IFRS, international financial reporting systems. Means if we come across with the top level of the company in 500 among the 500, so we should adopt the international accounting standards. That international accounting standard are called as a well mannered of doing the business of financial and operational reporting. Means we should adopt the IFRS as far as in global competitiveness approach. And next one is the audit committee. Audit committee is formulated. It is a one part and parcel of a business activity. A audit committee means internal for checking of internal check or internal difficulties can be solved through the audit committee. And if any company have an audit committee, it means there is a one good practices they are carried out. And next one is the risk management practices. Risk management practices means we have to the future is uncertain and the business should be longer for a period of time, and we can take into consideration of the management practices of the all stakeholders point of view. So risk management means minimal risk with a higher return point of view. We can do the business as a at a reach at a certain level. It means lesser riskier type of a business we can decisions can be made. It means riskier business, if you take into account of riskier business, it means we can consider some sort of provisioning or reserves should be kept in account for this mitigation of the risk. That is the risk management practices is adopted by the particular company. Means, my dear students, good corporate governance means, or good way of doing your business means, clear rules, good conduct, responsibility, skill, and manpower, good management of environment, appointment of board of will be good person with a qualification and qualities should be there, and strategy setting and community obligation and performance can be evaluated, financial performance, audit committee, and risk management practices. These are the components of good corporate governance. My dear students, if you talk about governance, I have already stated in different ways. 3 P's and 2 A's is required. In good corporate governance, or governance means it is set of process. It's a set of customs, laws, policies, institutions which can be directed and administered, and it can be controlled. Means certain process and customs we should adopt, and certain policies we should adopt, and it can be directed and controlled. In later on classes, we should discuss about the what are the different types of corporate governance. In this type, one governance is there: family business type of corporate governance. Family business type means one head of the particular institution, he is doing such type of business, and their sons and their daughters can take over the charge of that particular business, and how they are administering, how they are controlling, how they are upgrading their business. This the way of evaluation are covered under the a new type of laws is required, institution is required, that is called as a good corporate governance practices. My dear student, governance always not only the requirement of only not only the requirement of with regards to process, but also it is maximize the value, or maximize benefit, or maximize good things done, or good things of come across with the shareholders, investors, employees, and customers, and suppliers, and environment, as well as community. Means these are the stakeholders. Always they open their eye about the company, how the company is performed, and how it is when the particular dividend should be provided to the particular shareholder. Means these shareholder always open their eye about the company. So we should, as a board of director, or as we are a associate with the particular company, we should look into the we should do a good approach of doing your business. Means through which the transparency can be made, or inclusiveness is made, or equity and responsibility can be made. Means corporate governance, fairness of approach, transparency ability of approach, responsibility of approach, and accountability approach. There are the four approaches we should look into the matter of good governance level. My dear students, if you talk about good governance, means some persons means some stakeholders should be always put a big eye upon your company. It means we should be more cautious and more well of doing the business of transparency level. Another one is inclusivity level. Another one is equity level. Another one is to do as a responsibility level. My dear, certainly Here we today's in the particular class we discuss regarding the good governance and governance. But even if the some sort of points of good governance are level, but there are due to the lack of transparency, due to the lack of accountability, due to the lack of inclusiveness of approach, or due to the lack of fairness of approach, certain governance should be failure also. For example, Satyam, Ajay, Satyam example, Satyam Computer. Another one example is Kingfisher Airlines. Another one example is United Spirit, means the Vijay Mallya under the ownership, his owner of a particular company, United Spirits. And one is Rico, India. Another one is Fortis. Fortis is a hospital, and there are two brothers. They are fighting with each other, and these are the some of the governance failures. Even if the some of the iconic companies, iconic means the top promoters who are the really big giants of in Indian industry, they are also facing certain type of issues of governance failure. Example are Tata, means Cyrus Mistry fighting with the Ratan Tata. Infosys, similar problems is arises. ICICI Bank, the top CEO or top executive is known as Chanda Kochar, and he is involved with the money laundering cases. Means the Videocon group, he is also a big giant involved with the money laundering cases. It means there are big houses are there, and big promotive business houses are there, and they are susceptible of issues of governance failures. One means but however we should be more cautious regarding the good doing for doing a business or good business. If the we if you and if you more focused about good doing a business, then only our business can be successful one. My dear students, today's class only there are the points of the how the good what are the factors or what are the points regarding good corporate governance. And thank you. If any question, you may ask me. Thank you.